So here is my composition, Only Begin. The whole thing revolves around two chords. Those chords are A minor and G minor. So the A minor on the D Kurd handpan is the first note, A, the second note, the third note, C, and then E. And I play all of those notes together. So that's the first chord. If you have a different pan, just find three notes that sound nice together. The second chord is G minor. So instead of a line shape, it's actually a triangle shape. So I'm playing the B flat, D, and G. Just like an inverted G minor. So the whole piece is around these two chords. And to start the whole thing off, that is exactly what I do. I count to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To make it a little bit softer, instead of just playing the chords flat like that, I try to roll them a little bit. And just almost like a flam in drumming and percussion playing, where one hand comes down just after the other. It's not necessarily a separate beat, it's just a little bit loose. And from there, you can basically take that and build it however you want to. It's just two chords over and over again. But what I did is start to add very, very, very simple melody. So from here on in, you can either copy me exactly, or if you've got a different handpan, find your own notes that work for you. But what I did was, I brought in a note that was a little bit higher, and then I repeated this melody line. Nice and simple. So what I'm doing there, I guess this kind of turns into a B flat major in the end, and this is almost a C as well, so blurring the lines between what the chords actually are, which is always fun to do. So I take the bottom hand of the chord and I continue to play that chord, but then with the other hand I'm playing the melody. See there as well, instead of just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm actually playing it twice within it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, flat B flat now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and then with the melody. So it's just all on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Space at the end there. Then to develop the melody even further, I literally repeat the same thing, but I'm bringing the melody notes just a little bit higher. Same rhythm, same idea, same structure, but raising the tension and the excitement and the interest by just moving it up. Now this pan has the high C on it. If your D Kurd doesn't have the high C, you might need to find different ways to do this. But what I do is literally just... So the melody has turned from this to this. So I'm finishing on the same note, but because I got that high C, just makes it feel like it's moving still, right? And so that's pretty much it. Then I have a section B, which utilizes the low G underneath the handpan. So it's the same two chords, G minor and A minor. I'm just playing them slightly differently. Same idea. but moving the melody to a different note. And then we return back to, or maybe it's, I can't remember exactly what I did. Back to this melody, but we introduce percussion. So this is another way, again, that you can help to drive something forward, even if you're repeating the same thing over and over and over again. So still the same chords, still the same melody. Let's see if I can remember how I did this, because I haven't actually played this much since I wrote it. I've just jumped straight into doing a tutorial. But anyway, something like that, right? So I'm starting to fill in more space with these two chords. And then on the 3, I'm throwing in that tack, which is a really simple and easy way to start to bring percussion in. It's just a tack on the 3 or a slap on the 3, because it's such a common thing in music and in drum beats that there is a snare on the 3rd beat, that it's familiar, it holds the whole piece together, and it brings in that percussive element nicely, nice and simply. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, slap, 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 4, 1, 2, slap. This is the part where I go back and watch the original video and realise I did it completely differently. But those are the main elements of the piece, right? And so the actual kind of the life of this piece is not necessarily in the parts, or in the structure, or in the sum of the parts, but in the performance and in the little improvised moments, because this is so simple and has so much space to it that especially when you slow it right the way down, it has so much room for little bits of glitter and little bits of personality. Those are your moments to bring in your own voice to it, right? So it sounds kind of boring when you just play it, but when you perform it and when you play with the dynamics and you play with the texture, then it starts to sound interesting. Giving it room for lots of space. and so on and so forth, whatever direction you want to take that in. Yeah, so it's in the build-up. There's only 2 different sections, and even the 2 different sections are basically the same chords, just reversed. But for every line, what I'm doing to keep it interesting is that at the end of every line, I either hold it and leave the space, which is super important, or I add one tiny little inflection. And it's something different every time as well. It's not a repeating technique. I just filmed a video where I watched back my old videos of my old playing from like 6-7 years ago. And one thing I noticed in my old playing is that you can really tell in each piece that I've just learned a new technique for one of them. Like one of them, there's loads of this going on at the same time every time. One, there's loads of harmonics happening at the same point in the groove every single time, and it's clear that I've just learned how to do that. And so I'm like, oh, look at this cool thing that I can do, right? Which is awesome, and that's all part of my growth and development, and really, really important for practice to repeat it and to put it in pieces so that you can learn it. But to make such a repetitive piece as this interesting, and to keep it moving, and to give it that space and movement and personality and expression, it's really important to actually have those different little inflections and have those different little bits of glitter sprinkled on top, as I like to say. And to do that, you need to build up your toolkit of techniques, right? So that's the piece. Really, really simple. Do what you like with it, run with it. It would be awesome to hear you playing it. If you do learn it in your own scale or on the same scale but with something slightly different going on, I'd love it if you shared it with me. That'd be super cool. But yeah, thank you so much for those of you who asked for this tutorial. If you didn't ask for this, thank you for still being here and learning it with me. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the future for more videos. Yeah, cool. All right, goodbye.